Okay, so now we're on Genesis chapter 11, and it starts out like this. The whole earth was of one language and of one speech. As they traveled east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they lived there. They said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and burn them thoroughly." They had brick for stone, and they used tar for mortar. They said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower whose top reaches to the sky, and let's make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad on the surface of the whole earth." So that really correlates what we just read, that they said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower whose top reaches to the sky and make a name for ourselves." And this really correlates with the lust of the flesh, with the city, the lust of the eyes, with it reaching to the sky, and the pride of life, which let's make a name for ourselves. And we're told in 1 John to flee those things because that's the way the world thinks, right? They weren't trying to do things God's way. God told them to be fruitful and multiply and scatter and fill the earth up, not to stay in one place. And so verse 5 says, God came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. Yahweh, or God, said, "Behold, they are one people, and they have all one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing will be withheld from them, which they intended to do. Come, let's go down and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." So God scattered them abroad from there on the surface of the earth. They stopped building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there God confused their language of all the earth. From there, God scattered them abroad on the face of all the earth. So really just 2 points. Number one, if you're not doing things God's way, He can change your plans, right? He can do what He wants done, whether you want to or not, and it'll be better for you if you would just submit to it to begin with, right? And the second point is, I love how it says that they're one, they have one language, and nothing that, and anything that they begin to do, nothing will be withheld from them. So same thing with us, right? And we can use this in a positive light. You know, if the church would just be one and be unified, well, number one, we're unstoppable when we want to do God's will. But it tells us somewhere else in the Bible, I believe it's a psalm, that how great it is when people dwell in unity. That's where God commands the blessing. And so it is with us. You know, if the church would get unified, we would do so much more. And how can the church be unified? Well, I think we need to be very patient with each other. We need to be patient and slow to accuse each other of things. And we all need to really seek God's word for ourselves. You know, I think there's too many people following too many Christian teachers, and they're hearing all these different things. Instead of just going to the New Testament themselves, going to the Bible themselves, we've got so many people following other Christians and reading Christian books, but not really just seeking God on their own, not really seeking the Bible on their own. Because if we all just looked at the Bible, we'd be reading the same thing, wouldn't we? And there we would have, some unity because we would be getting the same information. So may you as a Christian and may we all just seek for unity. Be willing to call people out when they're wrong, but may we seek unity because we're just more unstoppable when we're unified.